Here is a striking thought for a Thursday morning. Two separate meteor showers reached their peak over Britain this week, the Delta Aquariids and the Alpha Capricornids, and whether you see a single one of them tonight depends entirely on cloud cover. That, in one sentence, is the story of Thursday the 30th of July, 2026. British high summer is never one weather system, it is several jostling for position at once. Right now the country sits in that familiar late July pattern: warm, humid air, plenty of moisture in the atmosphere, and just enough instability for showers to pop up almost at random through the afternoon. Motoring organisations including the RAC have been running rolling forecast and driver advice updates through this week for exactly that reason. So before you commit to anything today, a motorway run, a beach day, a festival field, check the Met Office forecast for your own postcode and the warnings map. Today is a day where 50 miles changes everything. Let us set the benchmarks. For this point in the summer, seasonal averages give daytime highs of around 23 degrees in London and the southeast, roughly 20 to 21 degrees across the Midlands and Manchester, and 18 to 19 degrees for Edinburgh, Belfast, and much of the western seaboard. Anything well above those figures counts as a genuinely warm day, anything below feels disappointing for late July. The geography then does the rest. Atlantic systems arrive from the west, so Northern Ireland, Western Scotland, Wales, and the southwest usually see rain first and hardest. High ground squeezes out the heaviest totals, which is why the Highlands, Eryri in Snowdonia and the Pennines can record several times the rainfall of the same day in Lincolnshire. Eastern England often stays driest, but North Sea coasts pay a different price. Morning sea fog, known locally as har, can sit on the coast until midday. Coastal spots typically run 3 to 5 degrees cooler than inland towns in an onshore breeze. The weather is only half the story. What has changed in the past week is the sheer volume of people on the move. Schools across England and Wales broke up in the last full week of July, and Scottish schools have been off since late June, so the country is now deep into peak family travel season. The final weekend of July into the first days of August is reliably one of the busiest stretches of the year on motorways, at airports and on ferry routes. You can see the effect in local coverage. The Westmoreland Gazette spent Monday the 27th analysing whether Kendal calling festival goers face sunshine, showers, or both, which tells you how much the shower question dominates planning in Cumbria right now. Motherwell Football Club published a supporter's guide for travel to the Faroe Islands earlier this week, a reminder that summer European qualifiers send British fans straight into North Atlantic conditions. And Nottinghamshire Cricket has issued a matchday guide for its outground fixture where drainage and rain covers decide the day. If you are driving anywhere today, 3 figures matter. First, the highway code is explicit that stopping distances at least double on wet roads. On a fast dual carriageway that turns a comfortable gap into a genuinely dangerous one, and standing water at the edge of a lane is where aquaplaning starts. Second, visibility. When it drops below roughly 100 meters in heavy rain or spray, switch your headlights on, and remember to turn rear fog lights off again the moment it clears, because they dazzle the driver behind. Third, tread. The legal minimum in the UK is 1.6 mm across the central 3/4 of the tyre, but wet grip falls off noticeably well before that. Add the summer basics: coolant, oil, screen wash, and tyre pressures, plus water in the car in case you sit in stationary traffic. One more today: sunset is around 10 to 9 in London and closer to 20 past 9 in Edinburgh, so low evening sun glare is a real hazard on westbound routes. Summer disruption on the railway comes from 2 opposite directions. Heavy convective rain causes localized flooding, trackside landslips and precautionary speed restrictions, while genuine heat makes steel rails expand, and rails can run around 20 degrees hotter than the surrounding air, which again triggers speed limits. Lightning is the wild card, because a single strike on signaling equipment can take out a whole route for hours. Check National Rail inquiries before you leave, not while you are standing on the platform. On rights, most operators pay delay repay from either 15 or 30 minutes late depending on the company, so keep your ticket. For flights, UK 261 rules mean the airline still owes you care and rerouting during weather delays, but severe weather counts as an extraordinary circumstance, so cash compensation generally does not apply. Ferry travelers should watch swell rather than rain, particularly on Irish Sea crossings and the long North Atlantic routes that Motherwell supporters are taking to the Faroe Islands this week. For outdoor plans, treat the ground and the wind as seriously as the sky. Kendal Calling sits in Lothian Deer Park on the edge of the Lake District, and the Cumbrian Fells are among the wettest places in England, so Wellingtons, a dry bag and layers are not optional even on a bright morning. Cricket at smaller outgrounds is the most weather-sensitive sport in the calendar, where a single sharp shower on poor drainage costs a session. Golf at the AIG Women's Open end of the schedule is decided by coastal wind more than rainfall, which is why forecasters watch gust speeds rather than the rain radar. And for tonight's meteor showers, the practical points are these. It does not get properly dark in southern England until around 10:30, later further north. Both radiants sit low in the southern sky, the best rates come after midnight, and bright moonlight or street lighting will wash out the fainter trails, so get away from towns if you can. This kind of muggy, broken sunshine day quietly catches people out. Ultraviolet levels in the UK are near their annual peak in late July, and crucially a thin layer of cloud blocks far less UV than people assume, so burning on an overcast beach day is common. Factor 30 or higher, reapplied every couple of hours, is the sensible baseline, and the strongest UV window is roughly 11 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. Humidity is the other issue. Warm, sticky nights push bedroom temperatures above the 17 to 19 degree range most people sleep well in, so ventilate early in the evening and keep curtains closed against afternoon sun. Grass pollen is past its worst, but late summer brings rising weed pollen and fungal spore counts, and thunderstorms breaking into pollen-heavy air can trigger a spike in asthma symptoms. If you have older relatives or very young children, hydration matters more than they will admit on a humid day like today. So where does this go next? The honest answer is that changeable is the base case. In a pattern driven by humid air and daytime heating rather than a single large front, forecast confidence stays reasonable for temperature and poor for exactly where showers land, which is why sensible forecasts talk in probabilities rather than promises. Practically, that means checking again on Friday morning rather than trusting Thursday's view of the weekend. Keep an eye on the Met Office warnings map, because yellow, amber and red warnings can be issued days ahead and are updated as models converge, and a yellow rain or thunderstorm warning is your cue to build slack into travel times. Look ahead too on the calendar. Scotland's summer bank holiday falls on Monday the 3rd of August, 2026, so that weekend brings another wave of cross-border traffic, while the bank holiday for England, Wales and Northern Ireland is not until the end of August. Here is the one rule worth remembering from today. On a shower day, do not plan around the forecast, plan around the radar. Check the rainfall radar within the hour before you leave, because a scattered shower pattern moves fast enough that a 30-minute delay often means a dry journey instead of a soaked one. Alongside that, 3 quick actions. Set your travel apps to alert you, national rail or national highways depending on how you are moving. Pack for 2 versions of the day, sun cream and a waterproof, because the 30th of July, 2026 will genuinely deliver both in many places. And if you fancy the meteor showers tonight, decide late, look at the cloud forecast after dark rather than committing now. Britain in late July rewards flexibility more than optimism. Get that right and today works, whatever the sky decides to do.